We are here for game 2. Unfortunately, Donovan just chased a pitch out of the zone from Mike Vasil for the first out of the game. It was a strikeout. It was a 3-2 count, though. A good job by Donovan to work a full count. As Contreras fouls back a sinker down the middle, it's 0-1 on Contreras. Scoreless in the first inning with 1 out. It is Donovan playing second, Contreras at first, Arenado at third, Barrero at short, so Wynn is out of the order for game 2 here. As Vasil throws a sinker right down the middle for strike 2, it's 0-2 on Contreras. Gorman will be playing DH for this one, so Herrera is also out of the lineup as the 0-2 sweeper gets fouled back, still 0-2. Contreras hit a huge home run at the end of game 1 of the doubleheader today to tie the game before the Cardinals took a 5-4 lead and won the ball game. So, coming off a hot streak for Contreras, the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a sinker outside. Strikeout for Contreras. Vasil starts the game off with back-to-back strikeouts, and that brings up Alec Burleson. Burleson brought his OPS all the way up to 800 by the end of that first game today. He has an 800 OPS with a .311 batting average. Nobody on, 2 outs in the first. The pitch to Burleson is grounded over to first base, but through. It gets by Rojas at second, and Noda did not range over to try to make a play on that ball, which might have been a mistake. So Burleson has a base hit, and he continues to climb up the OPS leaderboard. Puts him well above 800 now, and that will bring up Nolan Arenado, who is batting 4th in the game today. Arenado hitting .240 this year. Here's the pitch from Mike Vasil. Up and in, pulled down that third base line, foul. 0-1. Arenado has a .686 OPS on the year. The 0-1 pitch from Vasil to Arenado with a man on and 2 outs in the first. Instead, he checks on Burleson, who got back safely. I'll go through both pitchers and the starting order for the White Sox between innings, as this game caught me off guard. The 0-1 to Arenado is outside, 1-1. Trying to sweep the doubleheader and the series here. The 1-1 pitch from Vasil to Arenado. He is up and away, but gets the call at the top of the zone, 1-2. I think it's Vasil. I'm going to go with Vasil. So that'll be the last time you hear me say Vase. Mike Vasil about to throw his 15th pitch of the inning. The 1-2 to Arenado. Swing and a miss on a fastball above the zone. Vasil gets 3 strikeouts in the first. We go to the bottom half, still scoreless. Michael McGreevy taking the mound for the Cardinals. So here are his numbers on the year. Pretty good in the pitching run value. Keeps the ball on the ground as well and keeps it pretty soft. So that's all good stuff. The problem is he walks a lot of hitters and doesn't strike out very many, so the Cardinals will be able to load the bases against him a lot. Did get a few strikeouts in the first, though, so that's not a good sign. But also has a high barrel rate against him, so what the Cardinals need to do is work counts, like Donovan did, and try to reach base and then barrel it up with the base runners. 1 big inning is all you need. as long as McGreevy stays steady. So if we look at what McGreevy's been up to, he was the Cardinals' number 10 prospect. He's been pretty good, a whip at just 0.86 so far this year. And he had a 0.78 last year. He is 24 years old. Been good. Pretty soft contact against him. Very low walk rate, which is exactly what you need with this defense. But he doesn't get a great ground ball rate either. And the strikeout rate's a little bit low as well. That being said, it was against the Dodgers last time, so tough to strike out those types of hitters. Or keep it on the ground against them either. So I don't blame him at all for that. And then we can go through the orders. So I'll do that real quick. Michael McGreevy on the mound. Let's go ahead and get back to the game. He throws 25% four seams, 22% sinkers, 16% cutters, 14% sliders, so a very good mix. First pitch to Mydroth is an inside sinker, doesn't get the call, 1-0. Mydroth playing short, the same position as last game, the 1-0 pitch. Gets the call that time with the sinker in the exact same spot, it's 1-1. Caro is now behind the plate for the White Sox, with Noda at first, Taylor in center. The 1-1 pitch, low and away, gets the call with the sweeper, it's 1-2. Couple of great pitches from McGreevy so far. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. The 1-2 pitch to Mydroth is low, 2-2. Mydroth had a couple of hits in the game earlier today. Here's the 2-2 from McGreevy. Swing and a miss on a sinker low and in. Off a foul tip, McGreevy gets his first strikeout of the game. So all 4 outs of the game today so far have been strikeouts, and that will bring up Andrew Benintendi. But the shadows are having a little bit of an impact on the hitters, as well as having to play a second game. First pitch to Benintendi is in there for a strike, up and in, 0-1. Benintendi's been pretty good this year. 716 OPS, 235 average, the 0-1. In the dirt with the changeup, 1-1. They actually have his numbers stuck as the start of the day numbers. His OPS is actually up at 730 after the game earlier today, but don't know how to correct that as he drives one into left field for a base hit. Nootbaar will play that on a few hops. So Benintendi is on with 1 out in the first, and that'll bring up Miguel Vargas. Vargas had a fantastic game earlier. Cardinal outfield is Scott in center, Nootbaar in left, and Burleson in right, with Contreras, Donovan, Barrero, and Arenado on the infield, and Pajes behind the plate. So a good defense for the Cardinals, but with Burleson in right and Barrero at short, it is not their best defense. As McGreevy misses inside, 1-0. Vargas was good last game. Earlier today, got a couple of hits. Also had a walk. But was the final out against Helsley as McGreevy checks on Benintendi. So 1 disengagement this at bat. Benintendi on first with 1 out. Here's the pitch to Vargas. Check swing, foul ball. 1-1. Vargas has a 767 OPS on the year with 10 home runs. Very good season for him so far. 1-1 from McGreevy is low and away with the sweeper, 2-1. Two-one pitch is low and away, but gets the swing on a sweeper. It's 2-2. Great job by McGreevy to tunnel off of that fastball. And we'll see if he can get ground ball or a strikeout here. McGreevy is set. The 2-2 to Vargas is grounded foul. Still 2-2. McGreevy does this thing where he'll check on the runner and then immediately turn around and throw the pitch. And it catches me off guard every time. Which is probably good, which means it probably catches the hitter off guard as well. Cardinals have the infield play and Vargas to pull. The 2-2 pitch forces a check swing, and he did not go. It's 3-2. A new home plate umpire for this game. 1 out, 1 man on. The 3-2 to Vargas. McGreevy delivers. Popped up. Playable at second base for Donovan. He will make the catch for out number 2. So that will bring up the 4-hitter, the catcher for the White Sox, Edgar Caro. Caro hitting .284 with a .676 OPS so far this year. McGreevy delivers and misses outside with the curveball, 1-0. So a little bit of a different approach from the White Sox with their lineup here. From that first game, a lot of different players. The 1-0. Missed upstairs, 2-0. As far as who did not start earlier today, Caro didn't start earlier today. Sosa did not either. Noda and Slater also did not. And I believe Rojas as well. So they're really using their full roster. As McGreevy checks on Benintendi. So that's the first disengagement of this at-bat. And with a 2-0 count and 2 outs in the first, and a man on first, McGreevy delivers. Up and away, it's 3-0. So Caro way ahead here. Really tough for McGreevy to try to throw the ball in the zone 3 times in a row. We'll see if Caro decides to swing. Would not be recommended as he has 0 home runs on the year. Here's the 3-0. Up and away, that's ball 4. So McGreevy struggling to find the zone. Puts another man on. There's 2 men on with 2 outs, and that will bring up Lennon Sosa. Sosa playing DH today. He has a .272 average and a .672 OPS. Pitch 20 of the game from McGreevy. Gets the call on the sinker inside. It's 0-1. So a tough inning for McGreevy. Nothing crazy yet. Here's the 0-1 to Sosa. Low and away with the sweeper. 1-1. McGreevy listed as a spot starter for the Cardinals on Fangraphs. As here's the 1-1 to Sosa. Popped in the air to center field. Victor Scott is there and makes the catch. And we go to the second. It is still scoreless in Chicago. But yeah, it's interesting that he's a spot starter. They moved Sonny Gray over to Saturday, so he gets a start on the 4th day from his scheduled start, which was yesterday. So it's a little bit interesting. Just something to note. It'll be Nootbaar, Gorman, and Pajes. So we'll see how that goes in the next inning. Let's see if we can do a random word generator here. Demonstrator. Well, let's see if Nootbaar can demonstrate the approach of the team and work along at bat. Alrighty. The game is back. Nootbaar due up first. It's early in the game. The Cardinals should probably try to work some long at-bats against Mike Vasil. He has 15 pitches so far in the game. And the Cardinals' approach all year has been to work long at-bats, try to make these pitchers throw for a long time and a lot of pitches, and then eventually get to them late and get to the bullpen. So let's see if Nootbaar can do something here. The first pitch is in there for a strike with a nice sinker on the outside corner. 0-1. Nootbaar hitting .225 this year, a good game earlier, the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a sinker outside, it's 0-2. Nootbaar had a couple of walks in the game earlier today, but he's behind in the count here. The 0-2 pitch from Vasil is upstairs, 1-2. Nootbaar does have 8 home runs in 70 games this year. The 1-2 pitch is hit the other way, foul. Still 1-2. So there's Nootbaar starting to work the count. Seems like a tough place to hit with the shadows being where they are right now. The 1-2 to Nootbaar. Upstairs again, 2-2. So 2-2 pitch. Grounded over to first. That one is foul. Still 2-2. Shohei Ohtani was able to get a couple innings in a couple days ago. It's cool that he's back on the mound. Cardinals didn't get to see him when they faced the Dodgers, so just good for baseball when he is back. Here's the 2-2 to Nootbaar again. Up and away with the curveball. It's 3-2. So Vasil showing some of that wild pitching. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. The 3-2. Fly ball to center field. That's going to be playable and caught in center by Taylor. So that is out number 1. Nootbaar did a great job extending that at bat, but just unable to deliver. So 1 out, nobody on, and that will bring up Nolan Gorman. Gorman had a rough first game. First pitch to him. He's upstairs but gets the strike call at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. stark difference between this ump and last game's ump, as top of the zone was not called last game, and Gorman had to chase at the top of the zone that time. It's 0-2. So Gorman way behind Vasil here. We'll see if he can extend this at bat a little bit more. Already has a couple of strikeouts today. Here's the 0-2 to Gorman. Swing and a miss. A fastball up and in. Down goes Gorman with a strikeout. And that is the 4th of the game for Vasil already. So that's going to bring up Pedro Pajes, the Cardinal catcher, with nobody on. First pitch to him is in there for a strike with the sweeper. 0-1. Vasil really commanding the ball well so far. But Pajes has the potential to drive one. The 0-1. Sweeper outside, 1-1. Pajes has 5 home runs on the year and a .214 average so far. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Squibbed the other way, easy play at first base, and it is made by Noda. So we go to the bottom of the second. It is still scoreless in Chicago. Noda's also due up first, so we'll take a look at what he's been up to. Not a lot. I'm going to head back to the random word generator. Dribble. I mean, that would be like a basketball term. Probably don't have a lot of basketball discussions right now, although the finals are about to hit Game 6 tonight. But that's not something you talk about during a baseball broadcast, so. Sofa. I don't know about that. I'm not going to go with that one. Precision. Yeah, okay. We could talk about McGreevy's stuff. Might be something I can do. Game's about to be back, so let's get it pulled up. Oh, I already did. Okay. All right, Michael McGreevy back on the mound. Already has a strikeout today, but also allowed a walk and a hit. So we'll see if he can settle in this second inning. Ryan Noda stepping up to the plate. The White Sox first baseman. Yet to have a hit this year. Fouls one back. It's 0-1. Second pitch from McGreevy to Noda. He's just upstairs with the cutter, 1-1. McGreevy trying to find the corner. Throws a changeup low and away. That one's driven high in the air to left field and gone. A solo home run for Ryan Noda. Puts the White Sox on top in the second. It's 1-0. Surprised a family in left field there. Let's take a look at this pitch. Just a changeup out of the zone. Noda went out there and put the barrel on it. And the wind helped him out a little bit. It bounced over the wall. Great job by Noda. 1 run for the White Sox. Here's the pitch to Slater. It's grounded over to third. Arenado makes the play for out number 1. So 1 out in the second inning. Nobody on for the White Sox, but they lead this one 1-0. So that is Noda's first hit of the year and his first home run. So you imagine his family is ecstatic about that. And here is Josh Rojas with 1 out in the second. First pitch from McGreevy. Swing and a miss on a fastball outside. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Rojas. He's fouled back again, 0-2. The pitch to Noda wasn't even a bad pitch. It was outside the zone. But sometimes you just have to be a little more precise. Get it a little bit further outside, as the barrel can still reach a pitch that is just barely outside. Here is the 0-2 to Rojas. Swing and a miss. A fastball tailed out of the zone. Rojas chased. And there are 2 outs in the second. That's going to bring up Michael A. Taylor. Taylor hitting .214 this year with a .672 OPS. Swing and a miss on a sweeper over the middle of the plate, 0-1. Does have 4 home runs on the year. One of them came earlier today. The 0-1 pitch fouled back, 0-2. Taylor not doing well this year with 2 strikes, just an .076 average in 2 strike counts. The 0-2 pitch, low and away, 1-2. He bounced that sweeper. He has 1 2-strike home run on the year and a 60.8% strikeout rate in these counts. That home run came earlier off of Mats. Here's the 1-2. Chopped back to the mound. McGreevy delivers to first for out number 3. So we go to the third. It is 1-0 White Sox after a home run from Noda. All right. So we will go back to the stats. Now that the Cardinals trail, it's going to be Barrero, Scott, and Donovan. I actually like this. These are a few guys who have some speed, can get on base. We'll get Barrero's stats up real fast, and then we'll switch to Donovan's. So Barrero, a lot of bat speed, nothing else really going very well. Actually a little bit slower of a runner than I thought. Looks like he's slower than Contreras. And he has 3 hits on the year. A double, a homer, and a single. So that's not ideal. So we'll work our way over to Donovan. Donovan's been fantastic this year. 837 OPS, above average across the board. But the exit velo, barrel rate, and hard hit rate a little bit below league average. The walk rate also a little bit below league average. 40th percentile across all of those stats, just about. And the range in the field's actually at -1. I think to some degree that comes from that bad decision that he had where he threw it home when he should not have, but obviously over the course of the year that was only one play. Either way, he'll get those fielding stats back up. He did win a Gold Glove at one point. First pitch from Vasil to Barrero is in there for a strike, 0-1. That was a sinker up and away. The 0-1 pitch. In there for strike 2. That was a sinker right down the middle. And here's the 0-2 to Barrero. Reaches out and pops one into center field. And that ball is caught by Taylor. So Barrero flies out. That'll bring up Victor Scott II. Scott, the 9-hitter in the Cardinal order today. Trying to get on base ahead of Donovan and Contreras. The pitch to Victor Scott is in there for a strike at 90 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone. 0-1. The 0-1 to Scott is up and away. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Vasil is driven out to left field for a base hit right in front of Benintendi. Scott will stop at first. So a man on with one out, and that's going to bring up Brendan Donovan. Let's take a look at this one. It's a fastball just out of the zone. It was a sinker, actually, definitely tailed away. And Donovan able to reach out and put the end of the bat on it. Lofted out to left field, so one man on with one out. That will bring up Donovan. Scott goes. First pitch to Donovan taken for a strike, and Victor Scott is safe. He is now 20 for 21 trying to steal bases this year. A percentage over 95%. Blistering speed. It was a perfect throw from the catcher. Today, that is Caro, after earlier it wasn't. So Scott on second with one out. The pitch to Donovan is taken for a ball. I believe it's 1-1, but the screen does show. Okay, there you go. All right, it's 1-1 with one out. Victor Scott on second. Third pitch to Brendan Donovan. Right down the middle, but it's popped up. Donovan just missed it, and he knows it. Catch made by Benintendi. There's 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Wilson Contreras. Both Contreras and Donovan struck out their first time up by Mike Vasil. But now Contreras gets the opportunity to drive in a run. So Victor Scott on second base, 2 outs, Contreras at the plate. Here's the pitch from Mike Vasil. Inside, it's going to hit Contreras. A curveball backed up on Contreras. He was unable to get out of the way, so runners on first and second now for Alec Burleson. He did try to move out of the way. It ended up backing up into the armband. Burleson is 1 for 1 today with a single on a ground ball earlier. Was able to find a hole. Let's see if he can do that again. 2 men on and 2 outs, trailing 1-0 in Chicago. Here's the pitch to Burleson. In there for a strike, 0-1. That was a changeup. White Sox lead 1-0 on a home run from Noda. The 0-1 pitch to Burleson is dropped in there for a strike with the curveball. 0-2. So Burleson's going to have to fight back in this at-bat if he wants a chance to drive in a run here. It is 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Burleson. Driven the other way, deep to left field, and gone. A 3-run home run from Alec Burleson. Pitch above the zone. Didn't look like he could get to that one, and yet he put the barrel on it. 363 feet the other way, and the Cardinals lead 3-1. He was a fastball probably 4 inches above the zone, but Burleson has shown the ability to get to these high pitches. He waited on it, put the barrel on it, and with a perfect angle, was able to find the bullpen in left. It's 3-1 Cardinals. That will bring up Arenado. First pitch from Vasil to him. Catches the outside corner with the sinker. It's 0-1. So a surprise home run from Burleson puts the Cardinals on top. The pitch to Arenado. Just upstairs with the sinker. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Sweeper the other way. Driven out to deep left and gone. The Cardinals go back to back. Both of those homers didn't look like homers to me due to the wind earlier. But Arenado made that one a homer. He definitely deserved one today. That one just 98.7 off of the bat. 385 feet to left center. And it's 4-1 St. Louis. That is career number 350 home run for Nolan Arenado. That puts him at 103rd all time. Nice milestone for him. And coming off of back-to-back homers, the pitch to Nootbaar is in there for a strike. The pitch to Arenado was a sweeper. It went outside the zone. He was able to step forward and lunge out there, put the barrel on the ball, and that's all you got to do. As Nootbaar grounds one foul, it's 0-2. So a 4-1 lead for the Cardinals. Off of back-to-back home runs from Burleson and Arenado. And now an 0-2 count on Nootbaar. The pitch is grounded over to second base. And the play is made by Rojas. So we will go to the bottom of the third, but after Burleson and Arenado's swings, the Cardinals lead 4-1. That was surprising. Neither of those looked like home runs off of the bat, just due to the broadcast, but I wish I was there so I could see the wind and understand it a little better. Couple of great swings. It's going to be Meidroth, Benintendi, and Vargas. So that's just the top of the White Sox order. We'll do another random word generator. Evolution. I'm sure we could think of something that's changed. Probably not McGreevy. He's too young for that, but Cardinal order over the course of the year, the roster. Could talk about a few changing aspects. So I can work with that. We'll go back to the stats here. All right, we are back. First pitch of the inning, a ground ball to third. Arenado makes the play. Great play by Arenado. 1 out in the third. That was just a high chopper. Arenado able to time it up perfectly for out number 1. So that will bring up Andrew Benintendi. He is 1 for 1 so far today. Well, I guess so far in this game. Had a couple of hits earlier today in the other game, so 3 in total. Benintendi has made his way around baseball in his career. A lot of AL East time. The pitch in there for a strike. Also some AL Central time for Benintendi, a lot of it. Takes strike 1, low and away. It's 0-1. Second pitch from McGreevy. Up and in, fouled back. It's 0-2. McGreevy on pitch 37. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Benintendi. Drives that one high in the air to center field, but that looks playable, and it is. So Victor Scott makes the catch in deep center field for out number 2. And that will bring up Miguel Vargas. Vargas has been really good in this series. Couple of hits in the game earlier today, and a couple of hits a couple days ago as well. Had a big double for them in the game a couple days ago. First pitch from McGreevy to Vargas is inside, 1-0. As far as OPS of qualified hitters go, Vargas has been the best hitter for the White Sox this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch from McGreevy. Swing and a miss. On a sinker at the bottom of the zone, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball foul, 1-2. On the previous pitch, Pajes threw it back to McGreevy and he had to jump to retrieve the ball. And it made him laugh, so I thought that was pretty funny. Cardinals are playing Vargas to pull. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away at the top of the zone. We'll do it again. Vargas has 10 home runs on the year. It's a really nice total. Really nice third baseman to have. Here's the 1-2 from McGreevy. Sweeper low and away. It's 2-2. McGreevy getting the start in place of Sonny Gray so that he could be saved for the Reds series and didn't have to pitch in a doubleheader or off of schedule. Cardinals will be hosting the Reds this weekend. Few big ones within the division there before taking on the Cubs. So big divisional games all week. Here's the 3-2 to Vargas. Ground ball over to Arenado again. He makes another good play. And we go to the 4th. It is 4-1 Cardinals in Chicago against the White Sox. So Gorman, Pajes, and Barrero. Not going to be the most exciting inning, potentially, but Gorman's been heating up a little bit. Has had a rough day so far. We'll see if he can pick it back up. Strikeout rate, the lowest of his career at 27.1%. It's not too bad. That's respectable. And the walk rate at 12.5% bolsters that a lot. You just need to get that barrel rate back up. And the average exit velo. I mean, if you look at what he did in 2023, he had a higher strikeout rate and a lower walk rate than he has this year, but he was crushing the baseball. So he needs to just bring back some of that power. He is seeing the ball well. It would be really good to see Gorman heat all the way back up, but it's really tough to do when you're not in the lineup every day. I don't have a solution for that. I just hope that he gets better with the limited time. Because Newbar is the type of guy you need in the outfield. I mean, Mason Wynn always has to play. Donovan always has to play when they can. So it's going to be really tough. I mean, Burleson, maybe you could take him out of the lineup, but he's 2 for 2 with the homer today. He's fantastic at hitting the baseball. So it's really hard to take Burleson out of the order. Gorman's kind of the odd man out. But obviously, you don't want to trade him. He's a really strong bat. So anyway, see if I can get a new random word real quick. Bless. Yep. God bless everybody who is watching this. First pitch to Gorman is outside 1-0. Gorman is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Vasil. Missed upstairs with the fastball, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch to Gorman is a nice curveball on the inside corner, 2-1. Gorman hitting 226 coming into today. Now that's dropped all the way to 217. Here's the 2-1. Driven the other way. That's going to find a gap. Extra bases for Gorman. Taylor has to play it off the wall, and Gorman leads off the 4th with a double. Nice swing from Gorman, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And starting a rally for the Cardinals here in the 4th. That's his 8th double of the year. And we can take another look at this pitch here. Eventually. Nope, they're not going to show it again. Okay, well, first pitch to Pajes. Driven the other way, that's going to be a base hit. Gorman flying around third. Are they going to hold him? Yes, they will. So, runners at the corners with nobody out in the 4th. The Cardinals play it safe. I think that's the right decision. As Gorman didn't read that one perfectly. And it's also, with nobody out, you don't want to risk it. So runners at the corners, nobody out for Pedro. Sorry, he already got a hit for Jose Barrero. First pitch to Barrero is upstairs with the sweeper, 1-0. Barrero is 0 for 1 with a line out today. We'll see if he can get the ball in the air here and drive in this run from third. Or potentially move the runner over. As he takes a sweeper up and in for a strike, it's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Barrero. Outside with the sinker, 2-1. Barrero with a good at-bat so far. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Vasil. Driven the other way, foul, 2-2. Good swing from Barrero there. Barrero does have a homer on the year, along with a double and a single. In very limited playing time so far. 2-2 pitch from Vasil. Swing and a miss on a fastball above the zone. Down goes Barrero. And there's one out with runners at the corners now for Victor Scott. So we'll see if he can bring in this run. With Pedro Pajes on first. Big chance for Scott here. You really don't want to strand this runner. The first pitch to Victor Scott is driven foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch now from Vasil to Scott. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. It's 0-2. So Vasil threatening to pitch out of this jam as the infield is in on Scott. He usually does really well with the infield in. A lot of space to put the ball here. It is 0-2. Here's the next pitch to Scott. Inside 1-2. Scott is 1 for 1 with a single back in the third, did score, and he's also stolen a base in this one. And Vasil will step off. He came around to score on the Burleson homer before Arenado went back-to-back with him. The 1-2 pitch from Vasil is outside with the curveball, 2-2. So Scott has worked his way back in this one. Good at-bat from him. Trying to drive in a runner from third. Gorman is on third. Pajes on first with 1 out. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Vasil. Upstairs, 3-2. That was a fastball way above the zone. Vasil picks up the rosin bag, trying to center himself here. Pull the ball back down. Brendan Donovan is on deck. Victor Scott is 1 for 1. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Vasil. Pulled foul, and we'll do it again. That was a fastball in on the hands of Scott. Great hands to make contact with that. Tyler Gilbert getting ready in the White Sox bullpen. Vasil is ready. The 3-2 pitch to Scott is just outside with the curveball, and Victor Scott draws a walk. So the bases are loaded with 1 out for Brendan Donovan. We'll see if maybe they want to go to the lefty here, or if they were bringing him in for Burleson. Donovan is second in batting average in the NL. Cardinals have 2 of the top 4 on this list. It's Freeman, Donovan, Machado, Burleson. 2 of the top 4 in batting average. Obviously, that is incredible. And it's even better after you consider that Burleson's average has gone up today. It sits at 317 now. So him and Donovan way up at the top. They are second and third behind Freeman. White Sox playing Donovan to pull. Bases loaded and 1 out. First pitch from Vasil to Donovan. In there for a strike with the sinker. Perfectly placed low and in. It's 0-1. Donovan's OPS sits at 833 on the year. He's 0 for 2 so far in this one, but a big chance here. The 0-1 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss on a sinker low and in. It's 0-2 now. Donovan's hit a career 250 with the bases loaded. 1 grand slam, 22 RBIs, and 24 at-bats. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Vasil. Swing and a miss. Donovan chases a changeup below the zone, and down he goes. So 2 outs with the bases loaded. Vasil trying to pitch around a first and third no outs jam, and that's going to bring up Wilson Contreras. So maybe the Cardinals should have sent Gorman on that single from Pajes, but we'll find out here. If Contreras can drive in the run, here is the first pitch from Vasil. Check swing on a curveball. Yes, he did. For strike 1. Contreras was hit by a pitch earlier today. He is 0 for 1 in this one. See if he can work a count here. The 0-1 pitch with the bases loaded from Vasil. Outside 1-1. Contreras, a career .289 with the bases loaded, 22 for 76. 70 RBIs in 76 at-bats. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Vasil. Low and away, 2-1. He has 4 grand slams. It'd be really nice to blow this game open with one of those right here. But he's ahead in the count with the bases loaded. So you got to be selective. The 2-1 pitch from Vasil. Driven off the glove of the second baseman, and 2 runs are going to come in to score. The Cardinals lead 6-1. Rojas just could not get to that one, and Contreras able to turn it into a double. It was a hanging curveball at the bottom of the zone. He put the barrel on it and drove it on the ground, and Rojas had too tough of a play from behind the umpire. And due to the slow roll of that baseball, 2 runs came in to score. Contreras stood up at second with a double. And after 6 runs in 3 2/3 innings, that is it for Vasil. So Burleson will be due up next against a new pitcher. So we are blessed to watch this offense today. That's where the random word came in. I think it's Tyler Alexander. Yes, it is. So he's the long reliever. He'll be pitching for a while in this one. .573 ERA, 1.55 whip so far this year. Doesn't give up a lot of hard contact, but doesn't get a lot of strikeouts or ground balls. So the problem for Alexander is simply that opponents just keep making contact with his stuff, and eventually they find holes. And when it's in the air, that can turn into homers as well. So that's why his ERA is way up at 5.73. He's going to have to face Burleson, who's been having a great day, with runners at second and third. Wait, that is not who I thought it was going to be. It's Tyler Gilbert. So Tyler Gilbert, the lefty, 1.07 whip, 4.2 ERA. Does get a lot of strikeouts, but also has a high walk rate and a low ground ball rate, and gives up hard hit baseballs. So that changes things a little bit. Misses the first pitch outside. It's 1-0. So they might have given me the wrong name, or maybe I just forgot it. Either way, here's the 1-0 pitch from Gilbert to Burleson. Popped the other way, foul, 1-1. Burleson having a great day today. OPS all the way up at 825 now on the year. 7 home runs on the year. He is 2 for 2 with a 317 average for the season now. The 1-1 pitch from Gilbert. He is grounded over to second. Rojas makes that play, and we go to the bottom of the 4th, but the Cardinals add 2 more on a base hit from Wilson Contreras. 6-1 Redbirds. So Caro's going to be next. Gilbert with a 4.20 ERA. He's been pretty good. Got that out as well. But just very low ground ball rate. And the hard hit and barrel rates are high. The walk rate is high. So that's how you get to him. Caro doesn't chase or strike out. He also walks a good amount. Hits the ball hard a lot. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't really understand. I guess he just doesn't barrel it. I don't know why. I guess the bat speed is just too slow. If I'm a team that doesn't have a catcher, I would trade a lot for Caro right now. Trade for Caro and just get him a lighter bat. And just tell him to swing as hard as he can. Because he has great hard hit rate, great sweet spot in the launch angle. Doesn't strike out, walks a ton. And his OPS is below average right now because he doesn't barrel anything because he doesn't swing hard enough. I mean, that changes so much. You get the bat speed up on Caro, I think he'd be really, really good. He's also a switch hitter. If I'm another team, I would be looking at this guy right now. Try to take him from the White Sox right now. At catcher, I mean, that's fantastic. He hasn't been a perfect defensive catcher, but just getting that bat seems like a smart move. Anyway, the game is back. So we'll try another word. Foot. It's going to be a tough one to use. McGreevy catches the outside of the zone with a fastball. It's 0-1 on Caro. The 0-1 pitch to Caro is in there. Ooh, doesn't get the call on a sinker. It is 1-1. One cool thing about baseball is you don't have to be a specific height. You can be super short, super tall. If you look at a guy like Pozo, he's probably somewhere between 5'6" and 5'8". Well, you have guys like Jordan Walker at 6'8", and they can both play in the majors. Here is the 2-1 pitch from McGreevy. Swing and a miss on a cutter at the top of the zone. It's 2-2. Pitchers tend to be tall, but they don't all have to be. I've seen good pitchers who are 5'9". Here is the 2-2 pitch from McGreevy to Caro. In there, but doesn't get the call once again. It's 3-2. Caro walked his first time up. That one looked like a strike to me. Caro with a 33% strikeout rate with 2 strikes this year. 3-2 pitch from McGreevy. Swing and a miss. McGreevy finally gets the strikeout call. That one had to be swung at in order to get it, but he finally did. Down goes Caro, and that'll bring up Lennon Sosa with the bases empty. Perfectly placed sinker up and away. That is the 3rd strikeout of the day for McGreevy. Pitch to Sosa. He is just inside with the sinker, 1-0. The 1-0 is low and in, popped into center field. Victor Scott ranges over and makes the grab. 2 outs. So 2 outs, nobody on. That will bring up Ryan Noda. the first baseman. He homered his last time up, scored the only White Sox run. It was a high drive the other way. First pitch to Noda is inside. Did he go? Yes, he did. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is outside with the fastball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from McGreevy to Noda. Up and away with the fastball, 2-1. Two 1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a cutter low and in. It's 2-2 now on Noda. Noda does have a home run today. McGreevy on pitch number 57 of the game. Trying to get as deep as he can as a spot starter. Staying in the big leagues with the big league roster. Here is the 2-2 pitch to Ryan Noda. Misses low with the curveball, 3-2. Three-two pitch from McGreevy. In there for strike 3, a perfect fastball at the bottom of the zone. Down goes Noda, and we go to the 5th. It is 6-1 Cardinals. Arenado, Nootbaar, and Gorman. That sounds like fun. We'll go back to the random word generator soon. I'm seeing a really rough call on the Yankees on Twitter right now. Seems like the replay system expects too much out of clear and convincing evidence. Like, if it's clear enough that most people would agree that the guy is safe or whatever, then you should probably just call it that. But okay. Here we go. Arenado due up first here. Takes ball 1 inside from Gilbert. It's 1-0. Gilbert with a 4.11 ERA. Does have a pretty high walk rate on the year. Here's the 1-0 to Arenado. Inside again with the sinker, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. Right down the middle, driven in the air to left field. And it'll drop for a base hit. So Arenado is 2 for 3. First man to reach in the 5th. 1 on, nobody out. Cardinals lead 6-1. That'll bring up Lars Nootbaar. We'll do a random word after this pitch. First pitch from Gilbert to Nootbaar. He is outside 1-0. Newt is running through the stadium right now. The random word is account. That'll be interesting. Here is the 1-0 pitch to Nootbaar from Gilbert. Just outside with the sinker, 2-0. So the word account, I might use that. Talking about the bank account of Lars Nootbaar, if he can get it going again, as he'll be a free agent in a couple of years. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Gilbert. Right down the middle for a strike with the sweeper. It's 2-1. And here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss on a sweeper at the bottom of the zone. 2-2. I believe Nootbaar did win his arbitration case against the Cardinals prior to this season, earned himself a little bit more money. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Gilbert. Swing and a miss on a sweeper below the zone. Down goes Nootbaar. He is 0 for 3. That's his first strikeout of the day, and that'll bring up Nolan Gorman. Gorman already has a double in this one. He was able to find the gap. He also has a strikeout. First pitch from Gilbert. He is a sweeper inside, popped foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Gorman. He is low and in. He hits a fly ball. Playable in center, but it's going to be caught by Michael A. Taylor. So 2 outs. Arenado on first. And that will bring up Pedro Pajes in the 5th. The Cardinals lead this one 6-1 with Tyler Gilbert on the mound for the White Sox. Gilbert is ready. First pitch to Pajes. He is inside with the sinker. 1-0. Pajes does have a single and a run scored today. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle with a sinker. It's 1-1. Pajes likes to chew gum while he's hitting. I wonder how rare that is throughout the league. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside with the cutter, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Pajes. Up and away, a swing and a miss on a sinker. It's 2-2. Great pitch from Gilbert there. Drew the swing from Pajes. So 2 outs, 2-2 count. Here's the next pitch to Pedro Pajes from Tyler Gilbert. Upstairs, 3-2. So the Cardinals hanging on to a 6-1 lead so far today. Pajes has worked a full count with 2 outs in the 5th. Here's the 3-2 to Pajes. Driven foul, and we'll do it again. Because there's 2 outs and a full count, Arenado is getting a head start at first, so he had to run back to the base there. Here's another chance to get started for Arenado. The 3-2 pitch to Pajes is driven out to right field, but caught. A nice running grab in right by Slater, and we will go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 6-1 St. Louis. So Slater, Rojas, and Taylor. McGreevy at just 58 pitches. He's doing well so far. I'm going to go ahead and just do the random word generator, so I can get ready for this upcoming inning. Day. That's something I can talk about for sure. Day and night games, some shadows. All right, here we go. McGreevy back on the mound. Austin Slater due up first for the White Sox. First pitch is low, 1-0. Slater is 0 for 1 today. He's hitting .204 on the year with a .672 OPS. Here's the 1-0 pitch from McGreevy. Inside with the sinker, 2-0. Cardinals lead this one 6-1. Played a day game earlier today in the sun, and then after some time with the shadows, it's now a little bit later in the evening as Slater drives one out to right field for a base hit. One man on with nobody out in the 5th, and that'll bring up Josh Rojas. Still some sun on the ballpark, but just much less than earlier today. Rojas at the plate, first pitch, right down the middle for a strike. Rojas is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. One man on, nobody out in the 5th. McGreevy is set. The 0-1 to Rojas. He is driven foul, 0-2. When you have a big lead like this, you just got to keep attacking the zone. Make sure you don't give up too many easy base runners. The 0-2 is in the dirt, 1-2. Keep the whip low here with a 5-run lead. Rojas has a strikeout already today, the 1-2. Driven high in the air to right field. Burleson catches that one at the track for out number 1. So Good timing for McGreevy to give up a hard hit ball. And that will bring up Michael A. Taylor. Taylor is 0 for 1 in this game. Did have a home run earlier today. First pitch. Driven the other way, foul, 0 and 1. The 0-1 pitch from McGreevy is in there for a strike with the sweeper at the bottom of the zone. It's 0 and 2. One man on, one out in the fifth. The Cardinals lead 6-1. The 0-2 pitch to Michael A. Taylor. Low and away with the sweeper. 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch from McGreevy. Chopped back into the backstop. Still 1 and 2. McGreevy about to throw his 70th pitch of the game. Steps off. First disengagement of this at-bat. 70 pitches in 4 1/3 innings so far. And here is pitch 70. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Taylor. The first strikeout for Taylor. And that is the 5th strikeout of the game for McGreevy. So 2 outs with the man on first for Mydroth at the top of the lineup. First pitch from McGreevy to Mydroth is low and away with the sinker, 1 and 0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Chase Mydroth. Right down the middle with the sweeper, 1 and 1. Mydroth is 0 for 2 in this game with a strikeout and a ground out. Did have a couple of hits in the game earlier today. And Pajes calls time. McGreevy just joking around with Pajes right now. Big smile on his face. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Mydroth. It is outside with the sweeper, 2 and 1. McGreevy trying to prevent the White Sox from coming back here. They only have 1 run in the game so far. It is 6-1 St. Louis. The 2-1 pitch to Mydroth is popped up. And into the crowd, 2 and 2. What happened here? There we go. Should be just a little higher. All right. Getting a little darker in the stadium now. The 2-2 popped up again. That one, another foul ball. Still 2-2 on Mydroth. So really good at bat from him, making McGreevy work. McGreevy at 75 pitches. Doesn't like the baseball. Here's the 2-2. Reaches out and pokes it into the air. Playable for Burleson. He'll make the grab. We go to the 6th. It's 6-1 Cardinals after 5. Looks like a Barrero, Scott, and Donovan inning coming up. Let's just go straight to the generator. See if there's something to talk about. Cousin, probably not. Canvas. I mean, you could paint the corners, but I don't know if that's going to be something I'm talking about. Let's see. Improvement. That's a good one. It's a word we can use next inning. I think Donovan's a great guy to talk about when it comes to improvement, so I'm glad he's due up. Victor Scott is the same, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Game's about to come back. I'm going to be a little behind when the game comes back because it's doing that thing where it locks me into these commercials. It's going to be Owen White in the game for the White Sox. So Owen White is a pitcher with a 2.08 whip, a 6.23 ERA, -1 pitching run value this season with a 4 1/3 inning performance so far. There's probably a couple of earned runs in that. First pitch misses low against Barrero. It's 1-0. Yeah, White just came in for 4 1/3 innings his last time on the mound at a 6.23 ERA. 2 earned runs that game. The 1-0 pitch is low, 1-0. Actually, it might have been 3 earned runs. Yep, the 2-0 pitch to Barrero. Up and in, popped up, and out of play. 2-1. Barrero is 0 for 2 in this one with a strikeout. See if he can turn that around a little bit. Two-one pitch is in there for a strike right at the bottom of the zone with the fastball. 2-2. Two-two pitch from Owen White. Low and away with the sweeper. 3-2. Three-two pitch from White. Right down the middle, pulled foul, and we'll do it again. Good at bat from Barrero with a lot of pitches. Takes a deep breath, steps back into the box. The 3-2 pitch to Barrero. Bottom of the zone, driven to right field for a base hit. Another hit for the Cardinals. One man on with nobody out. And that'll bring up Victor Scott II. Victor Scott already has a walk in the game. He is 1 for 1 with a run scored. And when you think about the players who are the most improved for the Cardinals this season, Victor Scott comes to mind. Brendan Donovan also comes to mind, and so does Alec Burleson. And each of these guys might hit over the course of this inning. As White checks on on Barrero. And here's the first pitch to Scott. Low and in for a strike with the cutter. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Scott. Swing and a miss on a cutter outside, 0-2. You think about Scott's improvement, it's been getting on base more often, playing a great center field, getting in the lineup every day. He's been getting a little bit better at bunting and definitely walks more than he did in the past. The 0-2 pitch, driven up the middle, but a good play made by Mydroth over to second base for out number 1. So 1 out. Victor Scott will replace Barrero at first for Brendan Donovan. Mydroth had to range over to his right, pick that one up with his glove, and flip it over to second base. All in a hurry and on the move. Brendan Donovan is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts so far today. As a pickoff move is attempted on Scott. They're going to say he's out. I don't think I agree with that. I believe he's safe. But I would have to see another angle. Cardinals are not going to challenge. So 2 outs, nobody on. Victor Scott got picked off. And here's the first pitch to Brendan Donovan. Ground ball, second base. Easy play made by Rojas. So an unorthodox 1-2-3 inning for White, and we go to the bottom of the 6th at 6-1 Cardinals. Alrighty, so I mean the game's not going to be quite back yet, but Benintendi. I mean, I think McGreevy's still going to be on the mound. Let's see, 76 pitches. Yeah, he'll be back out there. We'll do another random word. Phil. I'm probably not going to use that. Quaint. Okay, we're going to look at the baseballs. All right, the game is back. Riley O'Brien is going to come in the game for McGreevy. So McGreevy goes 5 innings, 1 earned run with 1 walk and 3 hits allowed in 76 pitches. Great game from McGreevy. First pitch now from Riley O'Brien to Andrew Benintendi is in there for a strike with the slider outside. It's 0-1. O'Brien getting a lot of work over the past couple weeks. The 0-1 pitch. Just outside with the slider, 1-1. Benintendi is 1 for 2 in the game today. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled back, 1-2. One interesting thing about the baseballs this year, I'll get to in 1 second. The 1-2 pitch to Benintendi. Pulled over to first. Contreras flips it to O'Brien for out number 1. So 1 out in the 6th. The baseballs this year have had higher seams, according to multiple reports. So I believe that creates more drag and makes them fly less far, which hurts the hitters, obviously. So that's just an interesting thing to note about this season. Pitch to Vargas is in there for a strike, 0-1. MLB does change the baseballs every now and then. You wonder if they do that to affect the product or just due to different manufacturing. I believe they say it's manufacturing, but usually the numbers do change the game and make offense more or less effective. So I wonder if anything is there. Here's the 0-2 from O'Brien. Way low and away with the curveball, 1-2. There's no other sport that really changes their equipment that often. It's a little bit strange for a sport to do that, but baseballs are tough to manufacture and you need so many of them. The 1-2 way outside, 2-2. Two pitch from O'Brien to Vargas. He is outside with the slider, 3-2. I wonder if wind affects a baseball more if it has higher seams. I feel like it would. Might explain some of the lack of homers today. The 3-2. Grounded hard up the middle, but Donovan ranges over and makes the play for out number 2. So that will bring up Edgar Caro. Caro is 0 for 1 with a walk so far in this one. That was a really nice play by Donovan at second base. Took a tough hop off of the mound. First pitch to Caro is in there for a strike with the slider, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike at 100 miles an hour, 0-2. And O'Brien is ready. The 0-2 pitch to Caro is in the dirt with the slider, 1-2. O'Brien will probably be going at least a couple of innings here. The 1-2 pitch to Edgar Caro. Swing and a miss. Down goes Caro. We go to the 7th. It is 6-1 St. Louis. So Contreras, Burleson, Arenado, a few great hitters for the Cardinals today. They'll be hitting later on. We wonder if any pinch hitting will go down here. Probably not yet. Maybe some defensive replacements, get some guys some swings, but it's only a 5-run lead. I think you stick with your guys for now. See if we can get another topic. That's probably not a good topic. We could talk about advertisements. Could be fun. All right. Here we go. Owen White. Is he still on the mound? Let's find out. I believe he probably will be. Wilson Contreras due up first for the Cardinals here. He is just 1 for 2 today with a couple of RBIs and a strikeout. Also was hit by a pitch. Owen White is still in the game. Here's the first pitch to Contreras. Driven in the air to right center field, but it's going to be caught out at the track in right by Slater. So 1 out, and that's going to bring up Alec Burleson. Burleson is 2 for 3 today. Did hit a home run on a pitch at the top of the zone. Has 3 RBIs in the game. Had another good game earlier today. First pitch from White to Burleson. He is in the dirt with the changeup, 1-0. Burleson digs back in. It is the Honda home run inning for the Cardinals, so we'll see if they can hit a homer, get some donations to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Ground ball, nice play at first, is made by Noda. He flips it to the pitcher, White, for the out. So 2 outs, nobody on, and that will bring up Nolan Arenado, who is also 2 for 3 so far in this one. Also has a home run, as they did go back-to-back early in the game. That was the 3rd inning. So 2 outs, nobody on. Arenado at the plate. Owen White still on the mound. He's been pretty good so far for the White Sox. Here is the pitch. Right down the middle with 93 for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Right down the middle again. That one chopped over too short. Mydroth will make the play. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. It is 6-1 St. Louis. Great job by Owen White. So Lennon Sosa, Ryan Noda, and Austin Slater. I actually was unable to talk about the advertising because it happened so fast. But I'll talk about it next inning. Grab Lennon Sosa's stats. Alrighty. See if the game is back yet. I think it should be. John King is going to come in to pitch for the Cardinals. Tink Hence has been reinstated to Double-A Springfield, which is great news for the Cardinals. Potential pitching option. King misses downstairs with the sinker. It's 1-0. So I'll grab John King's numbers from the year so far and read them off to you guys here very soon. The 1-0 pitch to Sosa. Ground ball. That ball's foul, even though it looked fair to me. So unfortunate there for Sosa. King has -4 pitching run value, a 1.5 whip, a 3.91 ERA. Very high ground ball rate at 64.5%, and a very low walk rate at 6.3%, but doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. The 1-1 pitch is chopped over to third. It's going to be a guaranteed infield hit for Sosa. So he gets the hit he deserves. One man on with nobody out, and that will bring up Ryan Noda. So we'll see if King can avoid trouble and keep the ball on the ground this inning. See if Noda can ground into one. One man on, nobody out in the 7th. It is 6-1 St. Louis. First pitch to Noda is inside with the sinker. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Noda is just below the zone with the sinker. 2-0. One fun thing about these broadcasts is that they actually CGI in some advertising behind the hitter and the pitcher, and you can actually see it in the outline of the hitter and the pitcher as King finds the outside part of the plate there with a sinker. 2-1. They almost look like Jedi teleporting themselves in front of that generated advertising. The 2-1 is just, I guess, fouled off. No, I guess it was low. 3-1. I don't know exactly what the umpire called there. It looked like he called a foul ball, and I guess he did. So it's 2-2 on Noda. Noda calls time now. That is the hitter's timeout. Noda is 1 for 2 in this game. Does have a strikeout, but also has a solo homer. The 2-2 pitch. Down the middle, fouled back, still 2-2. Noda's OPS at .717 on the year with a 111 average. Only hit has been a home run for him. Here's the 2-2 from King. Low and away with the slider. It's 3-2. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Noda swings over an inside sinker for out number 1 in the 7th. So King picks up his first strikeout, and that will bring up Austin Slater. Slater is 1 for 2 today. Is yet to strike out in this ball game. Here's the pitch from King. Outside with the changeup, 1-0. Ground ball would be perfect for the Cardinals here. It is a double play situation. The 1-0 pitch is outside once again. It's 2-0. Slater has a .222 average this year. 2 hits every 9 at-bats. The 2-0, swing and a miss. At 93, it's 2-1. That was a sinker right down the middle. A lot of dead red pitches today. Not as much contact as you'd expect. Here's the 2-1 from King. Check swing. Yes, he did. 2-2. So 1 out, 1 man on. 2-2 count on Slater. The Cardinals lead this 6-1 as a timeout is called. King is ready. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Slater. Right down the middle, smoked up the middle. Victor Scott will play that one on a few hops, and the White Sox have runners at the corners with 1 out in the 7th. So this one's not quite over yet. Chance to get back in it for the White Sox. 93 right where you want to hit it. And Slater did just that. He put the barrel on it, hit it right back where it came from. Great piece of hitting. So that will bring up Josh Rojas. Rojas is 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far today. And instead they're going to pinch hit. So Rojas is done. This looks like Luis Robert. So Pedro Pajes is going to give the scouting report on Robert to King. It is a double play situation, but it's also a situation where a fly ball would score a run. So you got to be a little careful. Marmol is going to go ahead and take King out of the game instead. So let's find out who they might be going to, because it didn't show us yet. And it doesn't look like they will. All right, so let's figure out who it could be. I mean, you didn't use Leahy earlier. You did use Granillo earlier. You used King. This has got to be Kyle Leahy. It has to. This is a big point in the game as well, so it would make perfect sense to go ahead and just go to Leahy. Keep this game safe. So that's what I'm going to expect. If I do the breakdown from the opposing perspective, sorry, here's this. From the opposing perspective, Leahy doesn't get a lot of strikeouts and does give up barrels. So I would just tell my team to attack. Try to get the ball in the air. But he does only give up soft contact and gets a lot of ground balls, so it's kind of tough. But Leahy doesn't walk a whole lot of hitters, so I don't know exactly what I would do. Pretty good pitcher. All right, here we go. Kyle Leahy is the guy the Cardinals went to. So it's a righty-righty matchup. Robert versus Leahy. Cardinals lead 6-1 with runners at the corners and 1 out for Robert. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle, fouled back. It's 0-1. Robert having a rough year so far. A 192 average with a 581 OPS. Does have 6 home runs. Leahy's been great this year. A 2.31 ERA with a 1.13 whip. Good ground ball rate. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside with the fastball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is a sweeper down, and he chased it. It is 1-2. Strikeout would be huge for Leahy as the rain starts to come through at the White Sox Stadium. Swing and a miss on a sweeper outside. Robert strikes out in the rain. And there are 2 down in the 7th. That will bring up Michael A. Taylor with runners at the corners and 2 outs. And instead, they will pinch hit Mike Tauchman. So Tauchman trying to make a dent in this one, in the rain here. Leahy on the mound. Already has a strikeout, trying to pitch through a jam here. First pitch to Tauchman. Right down the middle, rifled out to right field for a base hit. The run is going to come in to score from third. And there are now runners at first and second in a 6-2 ball game as Sosa has scored. So Tauchman is 1 for 1 with an RBI single. It was just a fastball right down the middle. He barreled it up, turned on it, and hit it over the head of Donovan. So King will be charged with that earned run. And Leahy missed upstairs on Mydroth to start this at-bat. It's 1-0. So 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. Chase Mydroth at the plate. He takes a slider low and away. It's 2-0. Leahy trying to get out of this one at Rate Field here in Chicago. The 2-0 pitch is upstairs, 3-0. So one more ball and the tying run could come to the plate for the White Sox. The 3-0 pitch looks like a strike, but doesn't get the call as Pajes dropped it. And that is ball 4. So Mydroth will reach on a walk. And the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Andrew Benintendi. So this is a terrifying situation. Home run would tie the game. Benintendi has quite a few of those with 6 so far this year. Kyle Leahy on the mound. Steps off for the first disengagement. And steps back on the rubber. Here we go. First pitch from Leahy to Benintendi with the bases loaded. Driven in the air to deep right field. And it is gone. A grand slam for Andrew Benintendi ties the game in the 7th. Kyle Leahy blows the lead. And we have a brand new game in Chicago. It is 6-6. Can't blame Marmol. It was the right pitcher. He's been great this year, but the numbers are going to be inflated after that. So the game is tied at 6 with 2 outs in the 7th. Here is the pitch to Vargas. Outside 1-0. So the Cardinal offense will have to wake back up after scoring 4 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and being scoreless since. As a fastball catches the top of the zone, it's 1-1. Vargas has been good overall this series as Leahy misses upstairs with the slider, 2-1. So the Cardinals will have to fight back here to try to complete the sweep. The 2-1 to Vargas. Right down the middle, fouled back. 2-2. That was the sweeper. Leahy should probably throw more of that sweeper. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Vargas. Missed upstairs, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch from Leahy. Jammed him, but it's foul. Still 3-2. So Leahy with a really rough inning. Trying to find the zone against Vargas here. The 3-2 popped up, playable in right field. Burleson tracks that one and makes the grab. So we'll go to the 8th. It is now 6-6 in Chicago after a 5-run inning. It's capped off by a grand slam by Benintendi. And Cardinals have Nootbaar, Gorman, and Pajes due up to try to take the lead. And I will be right back. Alrighty. So we will see Nootbaar, Gorman, and Pajes. I bet the White Sox go to a better pitcher now. Although White has been good. He's only thrown 16 pitches. So you wonder if they stick with him. It is 2 lefties coming in the game for the Cardinals. So let's take a look. They are going to stick with the right-handed pitcher, Owen White. So first pitch to Lars Nootbaar. He is fouled back with a fastball away. It's 0-1. I think White against Gorman would be a really bad matchup for the White Sox, so I'm happy that they left him in here. Let's see if Nootbaar can reach here. He's 0 for 3 in the game so far. First pitch, the 0-1 pitch is low and away, 1-1. Nootbaar does have 8 home runs on the year. Here's the 1-1 to Nootbaar. Ground ball, foul, 1-2. Nootbaar has a line out, ground out, and a strikeout in this game. See if he can have a good at-bat and try to work a walk. It's just Nootbaar and Donovan who have no hits for the Cardinals in this game. Surprising duo to not have recorded a hit, especially Donovan. Here's the 1-2 to Nootbaar. Swing and a miss. A fastball up and away. Down goes Nootbaar. White is pitching great. So 1 out, nobody on, and that'll bring up Nolan Gorman. This is the matchup I've been waiting for against White. He throws a fastball that has the spin rate that Gorman likes to hit. Just enough ride on it that Gorman could get under it and drive it out of here in the rain. This is a big opportunity for Gorman. First pitch from White in the 8th. Low and in, 1-0. So Gorman ahead in the count here. White on his 21st pitch of the game, already through 2 1/3 innings. Very, very efficient. Here's the 1-0 to Gorman. Ground ball foul, 1-1. What we want to see to Gorman here is a fastball just a little outside over the heart of the plate. That is the pitch he could smash. Try to give the team a lead here. The 1-1 from White to Gorman. Outside with the changeup, 2-1. So it is 6-6, 1 out in the 8th with nobody on. Cardinals at bat in Chicago. The 2-1 pitch from White. In there for a strike with the fastball outside, 2-2. That was a perfect pitch from White, just a little further out than where Gorman wants it. See if he can see this next pitch. 2-2 pitch from White to Gorman. Outside, 3-2. Pedro Pajes is on deck if Gorman's able to reach, although the Cardinals might have some pinch hitters available as well. Rain coming down harder. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Nolan Gorman. Pulled foul down the first base line. Still 3-2. Gorman digs back in, stares down White. The 3-2 pitch goes outside with the slider for ball 4. So Gorman draws a walk. Great eye from Gorman. Really good at bat there. 1 man on with 1 out, and that will bring up Pedro Pajes, unless the Cardinals have a pinch hitter. Pajes already has a hit in this game. He's 1 for 3, so it makes sense that the Cardinals are going to let him swing it here. I would think about bringing in Mason Wynn at short, though. Here's the pitch from White. Misses downstairs with the sweeper, 1-0. Pajes obviously provides you huge benefit defensively as a catcher, and that might be important as this game goes on. Here's the 1-0 pitch from White to Pajes. Sweeper inside for a strike. 1-1. So 1 on, 1 out. In the 8th, 1-1 count to Pedro Pajes, who already has a single in the game. The 1-1 from White. Right down the middle, driven in the air to center field. And over the head of the center fielder, Robert. Gorman makes his way over to third. It is a double for Pajes. Huge swing from Pedro Pajes, driving that one into the deepest part of the ballpark. The Cardinals have the go-ahead run on third in Gorman and Pajes on second. It was just a hanging slider right down the middle. Pajes put the barrel of the bat on that one and drove it over the head of Robert. No chance for him to get to that one. And with 2 men in scoring position, Jose Barrero is the scheduled batter. We'll see if the Cardinals stick with him. Looks like that'll be it for White. So now I need to see a couple of things. I don't know who the Cardinals are going to hit with. I don't know who the pitcher is. Hopefully they went to the bullpen before the Cardinals hitter was announced. It's going to be Jordan Leisure. Leisure with a 1.62 whip, 4.62 ERA. Drafted by the Dodgers. Very high whip and a high ERA. Does have a good strikeout rate, but allows hard hit baseballs, has a high walk rate, and a very low ground ball rate. So hard hit balls in the air, that means a high barrel rate as well. You combine that with a low walk rate, that means he's putting them in the zone. Or sorry, a high walk rate. My bad. High walk and a high strikeout rate. So that means long at-bats against him. And when they get hit, they usually get hit hard as well. So look for your pitch. Try to find a gap for it. He is a right-handed pitcher, which makes sense. The Cardinals don't really have any good left-handed bats off the bench, as they already had Gorman and Burleson in the lineup to start the game. So we'll see who they're going to go to here. Barrero's in the discussion. I don't know if he'll get to hit. The runners don't seem to be on their bases right now. Leisure's still getting ready. Oh, never mind. They're at their bases now. Barrero at the plate, so he'll get a chance to swing. He tries to bunt, and it does not work, and Gorman got picked off at third. So that was awful. Absolutely brutal. Some of the worst management I have seen in a tie game when you can pinch hit anybody, especially Mason Wynn or Ivan Herrera. You do it. He just tried to bunt with Jose Barrero. Barrero stabbed at it, didn't get it. It's 0-1. And then Gorman was going to try to steal on a squeeze. And instead, you got the suicide. And Gorman is thrown out at third. Barrero fouls one back. It's 0-2. So a man on second with 2 outs now in the 8th for Jose Barrero. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Leisure. Swing and a miss. Barrero stabs at a bunt, can't do it, and ends up striking out. Stranding a runner at second, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-6 in Chicago. That is unfathomable. Like, you don't play your players throughout both sides of a doubleheader, but you don't attempt a suicide squeeze ever. This is the major leagues. You have to have a guy who's guaranteed to be able to get the bunt off. He did not. Gorman tried to run. I don't know what that was. So I don't even know where they're going to go out of the bullpen now. Maton has already pitched. Helsley's already pitched. I mean, Leahy's got to go another inning. Either that or JoJo, but you don't have him forever. You got to think Leahy's staying in the game. It's going to be Caro, Sosa, and Noda. All right, Leahy still in the game, able to get Caro for out number 1. Quick bouncer to Donovan, so 1 out, nobody on. That will bring up Lennon Sosa. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike with the fastball, 0-1. Second pitch gets the call with the slider below the zone, 0-2. So unfortunate for Sosa there. See if Leahy can make another good pitch here. The 0-2 pitch to Sosa. Low and away, 1-2. Sosa's been pretty good this year with a .275 average, .679 OPS, 4 home runs. The 1-2. Fouled back, still 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Sosa. Driven in the air, deep left field, and off the wall. Off the ground, it's going to be a ground rule double. So Sosa in scoring position for the White Sox. The potential go-ahead run, and that will bring up Ryan Noda, who's already homered in the game. Another hanging pitch from Leahy. Got barreled up by Sosa there. You almost wonder whether he should be taken out of the game, but the Cardinals don't have a lot of available pitchers. So here's the first pitch to Ryan Noda. Outside with the fastball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Low and in. It's actually going to get away, and the runner will advance to third. So that is a disaster. Lennon Sosa on third. Ryan Noda at the plate. It's 2-0 on Noda. Leahy at 25 pitches. Now the infield has to come in. So this could be a massive comeback win for the White Sox here, as the Cardinals infield has a meeting with Leahy. The infield is in, but it is a very talented infield, so a ball on the ground could easily be stabbed and thrown to the plate. Let's see if Leahy can get a ground ball or a pop-up here and give his team a chance. Cardinals are actually going to choose to walk Noda. So they're going to put runners at the corners with one out and bring Austin Slater to the plate. Give up the platoon advantage for the White Sox and instead go righty-righty. So huge moments in the game here. We'll see if Leahy can get ahead of Slater. First pitch to Slater. Right down the middle. Fly ball foul. 0-1. Very important pitch for Leahy there. He's now ahead in the count. We'll see if he can continue to dodge the bat here to get this second out. Slater is 2 for 3 today. Here's the 0-1 from Leahy. Just inside with the sweeper, 1-1. Cardinals middle infield playing a little bit further back in case you can get a double play ball. The 1-1 pitch. Popped foul, it's 1-2. So one more good pitch from Leahy could get a strikeout here and set himself up to strand these runners. One out, runners at the corners. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Leahy. Low and away, 2-2 on Slater. Slater hitting .236 this year, has just a couple of home runs. He is 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position this season. Just one extra base hit in these situations. The 2-2 pitch. Up and in, driven up the middle, but it's caught by Barrero. What a play at shortstop by Barrero, saving the Cardinals a run. And it is still 6-6. Incredible. Ball was up and in. He chopped it up the middle, and Barrero made a diving grab at short. Incredible play by Barrero. And he quickly turned to make sure the runner stayed as well. So 2 outs, runners at the corners for Luis Robert Jr. Leahy at 30 pitches. Looking to record an out here. Keep this game 6-6. Here's the first pitch to Robert. Low and away, fouled off, 0-1. So after a really bad at-bat in the top half of the eighth. Barrero makes a diving grab to keep the score at 6. Here is the 0-1 pitch from Leahy. Just missed outside with the fastball, 1-1. Robert has been pretty good with runners in scoring position and 2 outs this year, a .263 average. Leahy's been good as well, the 1-1. Swing and a miss with the sweeper at the top of the zone, 1-2. Leahy, with runners in scoring position this year, allows just a 0.77 whip and a 143 opposing average, with an 8.31 strikeouts per 9. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Robert. Reaches out and pops it up. Playable for Donovan. He makes the grab, and we go to the 9th. It is still 6-6. Great job by Leahy to strand the runners. And it'll be Scott, Donovan, and Contreras for the Cardinals in the 9th. So they didn't use the pinch hitter last inning. I don't think they're going to pinch hit because it is a doubleheader. So this is what you're looking at. Very fast runner, and Scott, if he can get on base, you could probably steal. It is raining. He's 20 for 21 on stolen base attempts this year. So you have to imagine he'd be able to steal. And then you have the top of your order with Donovan. I really like that. If Scott can reach, if he can't, Donovan's a guy who gets a lot of hits. He could probably reach base. And then you have your big guys, Contreras, Burleson, Arenado. They're all doing well today. So this is kind of the Cardinals' best chance to go ahead and win this one. Couple of on-base guys, and then Contreras and Burleson. Pitching for the White Sox, I think Leisure's probably going to stay in the game. He's thrown 3 pitches. Was able to get the pickoff at third of Gorman and the strikeout of Barrero. So we'll see. Here we go. Victor Scott stepping up to the plate. And Leisure is still on the mound. Here's the first pitch to Scott. Up and away with the fastball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, right down the middle, squibbed the other way, but the infield is in at third, and they make the throw to record the out, 1 out in the 9th. So playing Vargas in at third helps out against Victor Scott as he squibbed one and was unable to beat it out. So that'll bring up Brendan Donovan. Tie ball game in the 9th. First pitch from Leisure to Donovan now. He is outside with the splitter, 1-0. Donovan is 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts today. Didn't play in the first game of the doubleheader. Trying to lock in here and get on base for the big hitters. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Donovan. Outside again, 2-0. Game on the line here. 6-6 ball game. The 2-0 pitch from Leisure to Donovan. Top of the zone, popped up. Can't believe Donovan chased that. Easy play for Vargas. He makes the catch. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Wilson Contreras. So with a 2-0 count advantage, Donovan pops up. And it's going to come down to Wilson Contreras. Contreras is 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. He had a double and a run scored as well. First pitch from Leisure to Contreras. Right down the middle with the slider, 0-1. Second pitch from Leisure to Contreras. Fastball, low and in for a strike. Perfect pitch. It's 0-2. So 0-2 count in the ninth inning. Contreras already has a home run earlier today in the first game of the doubleheader. Looking to add to it here. The 0-2 pitch to Wilson Contreras. Just above the zone with the fastball, 1-2. Leisure is ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Contreras. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. Down goes Contreras, and the Cardinals will have to hope to force extras in this one. 6-6, we go to the bottom half of the ninth. Let's see who's available. So Leahy's got to be done. He's not been super consistent. He did get out of it, but I mean, Maton did pitch earlier today. You don't really want to use him again. Romero. Are there any lefties coming up? I think Tauchman is a lefty, so that would make sense. Let's head back over here. Tauchman, Mydroth, and Capra. So let's see what those guys are. So Tauchman is strictly a left-handed hitter. Mydroth is strictly a right-handed hitter. And Capra, I believe, is also a right-handed hitter. Yes, he is. So, I mean, Maton would be great. But I kind of expect us to go to Jojo Romero here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up his numbers and see if that's been revealed. So Romero has been a little above average, has just a 3 ERA, but a 1.48 whip is pretty high. Very high walk rate, but also a high ground ball rate. But a low strikeout rate and pretty high average exit velo. So not a lot of great things, but a high ground ball rate and a low ERA are always good. And you can't really pitch him in the extra innings. So yeah, they are going to go to JoJo here. I think this is the only time you could really use JoJo in this game. So it makes sense to go ahead and go to him right here. Have him face Tauchman and then hopefully get Mydroth and Capra. First pitch from Romero to Tauchman. He's in there for a strike with a slider outside. 0-1. That was a great pitch. Not a lot of fans still remaining in this stadium. After the rain, the 0-1 is outside 1-1. Timeout called by Tauchman. Umpire must have misinterpreted it. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Romero. Just outside with the slider, 2-1. Ironically, Tauchman's only walk-off home run of his career was against the White Sox last year in June. It was June 5th, 2024, probably with the Cubs. Check swing by Tauchman. Yes, he did. It's 2-2. Tauchman shook his head no, and the umpire shook his head yes. So that is actually really funny. Romero with a good pitch there. Let's see if he can put one in the zone here. The 2-2 pitch to Mike Tauchman. Missed low and away with the sinker. 3-2. Tauchman did have an RBI single back in the 7th. He is 1 for 1 after pinch hitting. He had a rough first game. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled away, still 3-2. This game felt like one the Cardinals had in the bag, and that's probably how they were thinking as well. But now it's in danger. The 3-2 missed inside. That's ball 4. The winning run for the White Sox is on with nobody out. That's going to bring up Chase Mydroth. Cardinals signaling that they could turn 2 with a ground ball here. Mydroth batting from the right-handed side. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Does have a walk and a strikeout. Cardinals not really playing him to pull. Pitch misses inside and gets away, and Tauchman advances into scoring position. Mydroth was thinking about bunting, and instead the pitch gets past Pajes, so the defensive advantage not really showing up today. And the count is 1-0. So now a runner in scoring position. See if Romero can make a good pitch to Mydroth here. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fouled away at the top of the zone, 1-1. Runner on second and nobody out. Everybody should be familiar with this, as it is how extra innings usually go. You're looking to prevent the runner from advancing. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Instead, Romero checks on Tauchman. So that's the first disengagement. The 1-1 pitch to Mydroth is outside with the slider, 2-1. Two-one pitch from Romero. Right down the middle, chopped up the middle. Good play by Barrero to range over and make the play. So 1 out, but the runner did advance over to third base on a ground ball to short. Luckily for the White Sox, that one was up the middle, so it was to the runner's left. So that puts the winning run on third. And it brings up scheduled hitter of Vinny Capra. He came in the game for Benintendi, playing second base. First pitch from Romero is in there for a strike with the slider, 0-1. A strikeout would be huge for Romero here. Infield is in with a runner on third and 1 out. Game on the line. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. The 1-1 from Romero to Capra. Ground ball, third base. Arenado goes to the plate, and Pajes is going to make the tag for out number 2. Great play by Arenado. Tauchman jogged home. I really don't know what was happening on that play. But 2 outs. Now Capra on first in the 9th. What a job by Arenado. I really don't know what Tauchman was doing. If he charged home and slid, he probably would have potentially scored, but he knew the ball was coming in. Pitch to Vargas now, in there for a strike. It's 0-1. So that was a huge play for the Cardinals. They might have a chance once again. Vargas is 0 for 4 in this game after a great game earlier today. 2 groundouts and a flyout, as well as a pop-out. Ground ball foul there. It's 0-2. That was a changeup low and away. So Romero trying to get the final out of regulation here and take this game into extra innings. Cardinals playing Vargas to pull. Here's the 0-2. Way upstairs, 1-2. Winning run now on first in the form of Vinny Capra with Miguel Vargas at the plate. Romero is ready. The 1-2 pitch. Outside with the changeup, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Vargas. In the dirt, gets past Pajes, and that means Capra advanced to second base. I believe he was already attempting to steal, and that is why Pajes tried to pick that ball. Yes, he was, so not anything extra there, as the ball did get by Pajes. But now Vargas hitting with a 3-2 count and the winning run on second. The 3-2 pitch. In there, ground ball to short. Barrero makes the play, and we go to extra innings. Great inning from Romero and great assistance by the infield. Barrero has been incredible, and Arenado has been incredible his whole career. We go to the 10th. Arenado due up after Burleson. Okay, so the Cardinals do have a chance. Let's go to Burleson's picture. Not a whole lot of other things to talk about other than the game. In a game like this, it's been an incredible one. But I will click on it. Safari. Yeah, whatever. All right. Couple of tie ball games on doubleheaders today. The Pirates are also tied with the Tigers right now. We'll see if Leisure's going to stay in the game. Check some available pitchers for the White Sox. I don't think they have too many. Whoops. Yeah, Alexander. Is this even up to date? Because they had a... yeah, it is. Okay. Well, it's going to be Dan Altavilla, the right-handed pitcher. He has a 0 ERA, 0.96 whip so far this year, but very low strikeout rate. He's going to be facing Burleson, Arenado, and Nootbaar, with Jordan Walker coming in the game to pinch run at second base. Let's take a quick look at the numbers for Altavilla from a sabermetric point of view. Yeah, he does have a very low strikeout rate and a very high walk rate, so working the at-bat is going to be the key. Righty-lefty platoon advantage for Burleson. Here we go. Walker on second. Burleson at the plate. First pitch from Altavilla. Swing and a miss on a changeup to start the inning. It's 0-1 on Burleson. Obviously, left-handed hitters are told to try to advance the runner, pull the ball if you can. So Altavilla pitching with the changeup there. Here's the 0-1 to Burleson. Another changeup, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Burleson does have a home run in the game. Also has a single. But he's behind in the count 0-2. It'll change the inning dramatically if he can't move the runner over. The 0-2 pitch to Burleson. Swing and a miss. They go to the changeup low and away. And down goes Burleson for out number 1. So a really bad at-bat by Burleson. You got to be patient against a guy like Altavilla. as he throws it out of the zone a lot. We'll see if Arenado can figure anything out based on that. Arenado is 2 for 4 in this one, does have a home run and a single as well. Walker on second. First pitch to Arenado is a fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. Really excellent pitching from Altavilla so far. Let's see if Arenado can find one against him. The 0-1 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Upstairs with the fastball, 1-1. A little bit of rain on the camera, making the ball look strange. Altavilla is ready. The 1-1 pitch to Arenado. Outside, but gets the call with the slider. Perfect pitch from Altavilla. It's 1-2. See if Arenado can work an at-bat here. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Arenado. Fastball way upstairs. It's 2-2. Gotta have your hands ready for that fastball if he can bring it down. But he also has a good changeup. Here's the 2-2 to Arenado. Fastball driven to the right side. It is through. Walker comes around third. He's going to try to score. The throw is cut off, and Walker scores. Arenado is called out at second. We're going to have to see if he advanced that one for extra bases. Might want to challenge this out call. But either way, the Cardinals now lead 7-6 as Arenado has an RBI single to right field. It was a fastball at the top of the zone. Waited on it, put the barrel on it, and drove it slowly out to right. Walker was surely going to come in to score. And he did. Let's see if Arenado is safe here. I'm not sure. I would have challenged that, but Cardinals will not. Here's the pitch to Nootbaar. Smoked high in the air to right field. That ball is gone. A solo homer for Lars Nootbaar puts the Cardinals up by 2. Huge insurance run for the Cardinals as the White Sox were going to start with a man on second in the bottom of the 10th anyway. Nootbaar delivers, and the Cardinals have a 2-run lead in the 10th. He needed that one, and he got it. Fastball right down the middle, put the barrel on it, turned on it, and sent it into the bullpen. 8-6 Cardinals. Here comes Gorman. First pitch to Gorman is a ground ball. Playable at first base. Altavilla makes the grab. And we go to the bottom of the 10th. The Cardinals lead 8-6. Holy smokes. So now you can go back to Helsley. I mean, I don't know if you do that, but you would think Helsley comes back in, try to get another save. I don't know if that's something you do. You pitch him twice in the same day, but who else are you going to pitch here? Granillo? He's already pitched today. I don't know if anybody hasn't. I think you just go back to Helsley. It is rainy. Mats would do well. Let's just see. I mean, you could stick with Romero. That's not something I would do, though. Although, I mean, he's already warmed up, but he's thrown 20 pitches. Like, it's going to be Caro, Sosa, and Noda. So let's see. Edgar Caro. Switch hitter, so that doesn't matter. Lennon Sosa is a right-handed hitter. I believe Noda's a left-handed hitter. Yeah, so it just doesn't matter. Just your best available arm. Is Romero the only available arm, or are you going to go to Helsley? So we'll see here. It's going to be Granillo. So that's interesting. He pitched earlier today. He's going to try to close it out. Has a 0 ERA on the year. 4 innings pitched. But now he's going to try to get his first career save. First pitch to Caro from Granillo is outside for a ball. 1-0. Obviously, the runners at second base starting there at the start of the inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Caro. Missed downstairs with the slider. 2-0. There is a base open, but not really, because that runner is basically irrelevant. Here's the 2-0. Caro hits a fly ball into right field, playable for Walker, who will make the grab for out number 1. And they decide to hold Vargas at second. So 1 out, runner on second for Lenyn Sosa. So a great job by Granillo there. He has been really, really good in his short stint with the Redbirds at the big league level so far. Here's the first pitch to Lenyn Sosa. In there for a strike with the slider at 84. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch now to Sosa. Popped up. That'll be playable in right field as well. Walker drifts in. Makes the grab. 2 outs in the 10th. Throws it in to Donovan. And the game is going to come down to Ryan Noda. The first baseman. He's 1 for 3. Does have a home run already today. But you just don't have to walk him, obviously. Because walking him would put the winning run at the plate. One more out for Granillo. First pitch to Noda. He's low with the slider. 1-0. This has been a really nice series to wake up everybody in the Cardinal order. It would be fantastic to close it out here. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Granillo to Noda. Doesn't get the call, but he does get the swing call. So it's 1-1 on Noda with 2 outs in the 10th. Granillo's recorded 2 outs in 5 pitches, and now looking for the 3rd out. It is the 8th pitch of the inning, the 1-1 to Noda. Fastball up and away, missed. It's 2-1. Cardinals playing Noda to Pole. The 2-1 pitch is in there, but doesn't get the call. Low and in with the slider. 3-1. So now we'll see what Granillo can do. The 3-1. Right down the middle, fouled off the foot of Noda, and it's 3-2. All bets are off now. Austin Slater is on deck. 2 outs, runner on second. 1 strike away from a victory here. Granillo on the mound. He gets set. Noda digs back in. The 3-2 pitch to Noda. Doesn't get the call on the inside corner, and that's ball 4. So Noda draws a walk on what was strike 3, and that'll bring up Austin Slater, the potential winning run, in the 10th. Marmol having a quick word with the ump, but I don't know what you're going to do about that. First pitch to Slater. Yes, he did. It's 0-1. It was a slider low and away. He swung at it with 2 outs in the 10th. Tying run on first. Go ahead run at the plate. The 0-1 pitch. Gets the call on a slider below the zone. It's 0-2. So a couple makeup calls there. Granillo way ahead of Slater now. Let's see if he can make a good pitch and end this one in the 10th inning. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. Down goes Slater, and the Cardinals win it in 10 innings. Nootbaar with a clutch home run. Arenado with a clutch single, and the Cardinals win 8-6. A game that ended up looking scary after a rough 5-run 7th inning is won due to some endurance by the Cardinal club waking back up, and they complete the sweep. We'll see you guys very soon. We play the Reds and the Cubs next, and this should have woken the team up for those series.